It's true. Hey, welcome to Red Eye. It's like, that's incredible. If by incredible, you mean a danger to small children and pets. Due to Andy Levy's tragic death in a freak bowling accident, there's no pregame tonight. So let's just welcome our guests. Oh, look at her. She's so sweet. She gives cavities to cavities. I'm here now with Fox Business Network reporter Jolene Kent.
Hey.
Hey, back. And sitting in for TV's Andy Levy is Norwegian stunt water skier Feck Feklandir. To this date, Feck is the only person to complete a nude double backflip in the Adriatic Sea. Well done, Feck. And maybe if we stop feeding him, he'll finally go away. It's my repulsive sidekick, Bill Schultz. And he's so sharp, he's not allowed on airplanes or near balloon animals. Sitting right next to me, first-time guest, he's author Eric Metaxas.
A-Block, the lead. That's the first story.
Wow, you've really grown, Greg. Just kidding, LOL.
Thank you, announcer. Will we annihilate if they don't cooperate? Well, Syria says it's open to handing over its chemical weapons to avert a U.S. military strike. Their foreign minister responded positively to an appeal from Russia that Syria place its arsenal under international control, then destroy it. Bill finds this funny. Anyway, the minister's statement came hours after Secretary of State John Kerry said Assad could resolve the crisis by surrendering the weapons by the end of the week. He also said this about a potential U.S. attack.
We're not talking about war. We're not going to war. We will not have people at risk in that way. That is exactly what we're talking about doing. Unbelievably small, limited kind of effort.
Meanwhile, U.S. activists have volunteered to be human shields in Syria to block a strike. And liberal jelly belly Ed Asner said the reason why Hollywood won't speak up against Obama is because they don't want to feel anti-black. They're about as brave as this penguin.
Kom igen nu då.
Nu ska jag.
And he's also starting to change his service.
Nu ska jag. Nu, nej.
Ikke mye som sjokoladeplate.
Tveka inte. Kör.
En liten sjokoladeplate. Og I løpet av kort tid, disse her 2 måneder nå, de har åpnet seg I vannet.
Nu har jag bestämt mig. Nu har jag bestämt mig.
Oh, it took a little time. And what was he speaking there, Eric? The penguin.
Can I go to a lifeline?
Yes.
I've never been on this show before. I've watched the show. It's freakier in person.
It is, isn't it?
Even freakier. People are watching saying, how's that possible? It's possible.
Yes. Well, let me ask you this. What's your take on these peace activists helping a country that might have killed its own people?
Okay, I hate to start off this program on a non-snarky note.
Right, that's okay.
But as stupid as what they're doing is,
yeah,
I have to give them credit for putting their lives or their money where their mouth is, because typically, folks like you and me, we would criticize liberals for spending other people's money to live out their ideals. But in this case, stunningly and rather impressively, they are actually willing to put themselves in harm's way. I think you got to put that on the table. You got to give, kudos where they're due. That's at least significant.
That's actually a fairly good point, and he's almost convinced me because I ragged on them earlier today, and now I feel bad. Andy, you're looking weird.
Well, I feel like now I kind of support strikes against Syria.
Oh, that's terrible.
I don't know. I'm kidding, of course.
We're going to add up the kidding.
No.
Yeah, no, yes.
No, I respect that I agree with you. I respect that they have the moral courage to sort of, put their lives on the line for what they believe. The problem is going to be if we say, hey, here's what we're going to bomb in Syria, and then people say, oh, well, we're going to go there.
Yeah.
They can't really complain if they get bombed.
Right.
Because it's like, well, we said we were going to do that.
After they die, they're not going to be able to complain at all.
True.
Yeah.
But their relatives and friends can't really complain.
Yeah, but their relatives and friends will be like, I told them, just get a normal job. Why do you have to be a human? Look, human shield, not a good career move for a lot of people. By the way, does anybody know what's on our table right here?
What is that?
I don't know.
It's a modifier, it looks like.
I don't know what that is.
Some kind of
We film cheap sci-fi shows.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what it is. Jolene,
you gave me radiation.
I'd throw it quick.
My hair's falling out.
I want to ask you a question, Jolene, so try to pay attention, or Joe, as I like to call you. What do you make of the developments in which Hollywood, who used to mobilize so quickly, to protest things is not around. Do you agree with Ed Asner that it's race-related?
I don't. I think people are really torn about it. I think if you ask any journalist that covers it full time and like does the analysis, it's a really difficult decision, and I think that's evidenced by what's happening on Capitol Hill right now and a lot of other
Iraq
things.
was difficult, and there were a lot of celebrities that were happily against it, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think that you have a situation that I think is much more complicated, and a president that's come forward and really like put forth he's putting it through Congress. I mean, I think it's a kind of.
I'm dying to know. At your age, do you know who Ed Asner is?
I wasn't until I got more familiar. So
You've heard of Mary Tyler Moore?
Yes, of course, Minnesota. Of course.
He's the cartoon grandpa in Up. That's all you need to know. And he's incorrigible in real life.
By the way, that was my favorite role of him was in Up. Yeah. Although Up, only the 15 minutes at the beginning were great, but it was just too long.
He was great in Elf. He's
Bill,
a good Santa.
I happen to think that you should join the activists if we gave you paid leave. It's been a small dream of mine to see a cruise missile land on your head.
So this would be the first time I'd get paid, is what you're saying,
exactly.
when I leave.
Exactly.
We could have negotiated that earlier. I don't think that celebrities have come out with a coherent thing either for or against this, because they're like most of Americans who don't really understand what's going on. Yeah. They don't know what side they want to be on, as are most Republicans. 10 out of the 83 Republicans who voted for the Iraq war that are still in office, now it's just 10 of them. For the Syrian war, they don't know where their head's at, unless they just really hate Obama. Perhaps that's it. But also, furthermore, what do we really care about what Ed Asner has to say?
I care about Ed
Betty White, yes. Gavin McLeod, The Love Boat, of course.
It sounds to me like you're suggesting that people in Hollywood won't take a position unless they fully understand it.
Yes.
Are you actually saying that?
I am actually saying that's unbelievable. Ed Asner doesn't care. Ed Asner could die tomorrow. He's just talking to talk. His microphone's there. He's going to use them.
What do you mean he could die tomorrow? He's only like 40, right?
Yeah, he's just
he looks old, but
in comedy years.
Actually, what he said was so cranky, I couldn't believe it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was saying things that he basically is furious at the president. I wish I had the verbiage, but it was nasty. He hates Obama at this point.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the hardcore liberals in Hollywood, their minds are blown because they were sure that this guy was going to do everything they'd hoped.
Yeah.
And now he's going to war, just like Bush. So.
All right, but can I point out an irony here, Andy? Okay. I've said it a million times here. Liberals are often guilty of using racist accusations against the right. Every time they disagree with Obama, it's because he's black. And now they're reacting out of that fear of that happening to them.
But I don't think they are.
Really?
I think this is.
Ed Asner said they are.
Well, I think there's a couple of. First of all, Ed Asner
Ed
Asner is a 9/11 truther, so let's not take everything he says as gospel.
Wait, that makes him a genius.
But, yeah. My guess is the Susan Sarandon of the worlds and the people like that are not, or they're kind of keeping silent because they supported Obama so heavily during the election. They're a little embarrassed and they don't want to speak up against him. But that also, to get to your point also, as you said, a lot of liberals are used to playing the race card here. And so I think in Asner's mind, he's just doing what he usually does. He's playing the race card. It doesn't matter who it's against.
You know what's weird about, and I'll move on, but this guy tweeted me this point, which I totally missed. In the interview with Assad, he admitted, he said, they asked him about chemical weapons, would it be used? And he said, when he said, if the rebels have them, if they use them, he said if, which means that he had them, not the rebels. Do you follow me?
Well, they've already admitted that they make chemical weapons.
Yeah.
They just promised that they'll never use
But he assumed he didn't know if the rebels had them, which means he can't blame the rebels for the attack.
You slipped up, Assad, but Charlie Rose will never know it because he's an alcoholic.
Oh, shut up! I've heard! You're a joke. How can you call him an alcoholic? He's in healthier shape than you are.
That's why I didn't get Assad and not promoted all over the place. I know I'm half in the bag, and I have the courage to admit it.
All right.